And joining us now is Democratic Congresswoman Nanette Barragan from California. She is the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Congresswoman, always a pleasure to see you. I want to get your reaction first to the news just in the last hour that the head of the U.S. Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, is stepping down.
Well, thank you for having me, Jose. You know, the director lost the confidence of both parties. Clearly, there was a massive failure in a job that's a can't-fail job. So it's time for us to move on and make sure that we regain that trust and have somebody in there that we know can protect a former president, a current president, and those that they're meant to protect.
And Congressman, the last time we spoke, you said President Biden, had your full support. Now that he has exited the race, you've come out in support of Vice President Harris. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus's campaign arm has endorsed Vice President Harris. Does the caucus as a group endorse the vice president as well?
So the official Hispanic caucus, which I run, is an official-only policy we can't endorse. But that's why we have the political arm. And the political arm was strongly in support, and we had the vote. Our members are ready to go out and campaign for the vice president to make sure she's the next president. Look, we have somebody in Vice President Kamala Harris who is fighting for working families, fighting for Latino communities. She's been a partner with the Biden-Harris administration that made a lot of gains for Latinos. She's there to make sure that we're investing in measures to bring down costs, whether it's healthcare costs, whether it's everyday costs for Americans, but also is going to fight something she's been leading on, of course, to protect women's right to choose and women's reproductive rights. That's huge in places like Nevada, where 81% of Latinos believe that a woman should have that right. And there's so many other issues, including, you know, protecting DACA recipients and her work with the United Farm Workers. So the list goes on and on and on. And, of course, protecting the Department of Education and making sure we all have that opportunity and that shot to succeed. That vision that she's talking about, that vision for an opportunity, that's the Latino dream. It's just to have that opportunity here in America to live that American dream. And the door to that, of course, is education.
You know, when you and I were speaking just last week about the millions of more than 14 million people who voted for President Biden in the primaries, do you think that their voices are being heard today?
I do. And the reason is because you got to remember, they didn't vote just for Joe Biden. They voted for a Biden-Harris ticket. She's been on this ticket, and the president has endorsed her. And together they have done historic things, whether it's the infrastructure bill, whether it's CHIPS and Science, American Rescue Plan, the list goes on and on. This is a race about not just contrast, because there is a huge contrast, whether it's a prosecutor versus a criminal, whether it's somebody who's fighting to protect women's reproductive or somebody who is bragging about taking away that right and overturning Roe versus Wade, somebody who's fighting for working class families or somebody who's fighting for billionaires. That's a contrast that our communities are going to see, but they also want to know what the vision is, what's going to happen moving forward, what she's going to fight for. And those things are important to the Latino community. And I don't have to tell you about Project 2025 as it comes to mass deportations. There is a lot of fear, I think, in the Latino community when they hear about that. That is something that also moves people. There's a lot of excitement we're seeing in new polling data with young Latinos, women, and third-party and undecideds. So she's got to go out there doing exactly what she's doing today, hitting the campaign trail, reintroducing herself, talking about her vision. And I think that's going to help energize and move our voters to get to the polls and make her the next president.
And Congresswoman, I know that you've had issues in the past with the president over that border bill, for example, that the president supported but was blocked by, among other things, when Donald Trump said, don't do it. I don't want to give the Democrats a victory. You've also spoken about some of Biden's executive actions on immigration. How important do you think the issue of immigration is going to be going forward? And what do you want to hear from the Harris campaign on these issues?
Well, you know, I've been speaking to the vice president about these issues throughout. She's been very accessible. She comes from California. She understands immigration. She understands the value of diversity and the contributions that immigrants bring to this country. We've heard folks that have worked with her on this issue, including farm workers. So I think it's going to be great. She brings a different perspective and experience on the immigration issue in itself. And, you know, I didn't agree with that bill, as you mentioned, in the Senate. But there is an opportunity, I believe, for us to come together to figure out ways that we can provide protections to DACA recipients, get something passed, and in the long term pass comprehensive immigration reform. The vice president, of course, is the daughter of immigrants. She herself is that story of the American dream that many of those in our community aspire for and want to live as well. So I think she understands that, and I think she's going to be a real partner on the issue of immigration. And I will tell you, when we met with the president on asking him to do the executive order to provide the protections to the spouses of U.S. citizens, the vice president was in the room. So she knows exactly what the Hispanic caucus has been pushing for and fighting for. And I know she's going to be a partner with us in getting some progress on getting these protections and in the long term getting comprehensive immigration reform.
Congresswoman Annette Barragan, I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.